horrible death at the hands of armed mercenaries for the coal companies, and is very little remembered. So Lindsay composed this dignified portrait that you see behind her of Fannie Sellins. So Fannie Sellins sort of was working in the Mother Jones tradition of agitation. She saw herself as a freedom fighter, as somebody who knew she was potentially putting herself in danger when she tried to organize workers into unions. She followed also in the tradition of organizing immigrants and African-American coal miners and their families, putting women and children at the center of these campaigns. She was she was murdered with firearms, but also her skull was crushed in this horrible way. And I'll just put up a picture of that so that
well, I mean, warning if you
what?
A warning for people if you can't, you know,
Yes,
it is
a horrible image that will, you know, cannot be underestimated. How brutal this was, but yet it was something that people, young children, witnessed. This was an image that went across the globe of what, this one is from the Butte Daily Bulletin, and it's just one of many. This image also was resurrected in the 1930s when steel workers faced similar kinds of repression and gun thugs. So this was in October of, she died in September of 1919, but this one was published in October, and they lost that steel strike ultimately. But the painfulness and the fear that this created also has to be remembered. So that's how she's usually depicted. Also, she's depicted, she has a monument that was established for her in Pennsylvania, and I don't have an image of that right now, but you can look it up on the internet, near Alliquippa, Pennsylvania, which is the heart of the coal mining and steel industry. And she's remembered in that area of the country, but we want to do something in St. Louis around this, which is where she became an activist. And so, you know, we asked Lindsay, and the government of Ireland commissioned Lindsay to do this painting. We're also going to have a marker where she was an activist in St. Louis. She came to be an activist, and we're going to open up a big exhibit that includes some of Lindsay's other paintings of Mother Jones and Fannie Sellins in St. Louis at the St. Louis Public Library. When COVID goes away, we've already got an agreement to do a major exhibit there that brings this story to life of the connections of Mother Jones. People associate both of them with the mine industry, but we're going to bring, and this material brings, how they came into this and how they worked with garment workers and other workers as well. And in fact, what the marker will be at a place that Fannie Sellins was banned from marching, and she defied that ban. She was told that she couldn't come near the site of the garment factories for 99 years. And we are going to resurrect her spirit there with a marker that tells that story. So that's a little background to where this image fits in. We're also going to have a mural done by other artists as part of this project. But we commissioned, and the government of Ireland commissioned her to bring forth this Irish-American woman who fought for justice with Polish and Jewish and Russian workers. Just show you a leaflet that was done in multiple languages.
Oh yes, I'm excited to see this. We talked about it.
This is the one in English. So this is, they basically handed out these leaflets to English speaking workers and said, you know, if you don't come back to work, we're going to work. We're going to replace you. You are girls, and you can only be loyal employees. And if you do not like what we are giving you, go somewhere else. But they got an injunction. I'll just bring up one more here. They got an injunction. And here is Fannie going across the country in defiance of that injunction with another friend of hers, a comrade, Catherine Hurley, who, they went and talked to people in mining camps who were unionized, especially in Illinois, and said, can you support us by not buying these clothes? And the clothes that they were making were the kind of clothes, work clothes. They appealed to their brothers in the union movement to stop, to harm Marx and Haas. And I have to say, they won this campaign. They won this campaign. They brought down the most anti-union company in part of what was called the CIA, the Citizens Industrial Alliance. But I think it's so funny that that the acronym is the same. And they won by that kind of solidarity. So I just, again, a little introduction there. This was the kind of work that Mother Jones did, and that you could take little victories, and we should take those little victories as a sign of potential, even then, even in places that brought in gun thugs and the law of injunction that told Fannie, you're just a girl. Here she was 30 in her 30s. You're just a girl and you don't deserve more. So Fannie was a widow. She and her children had to work. She was in the Irish community, but she looked beyond the Irish. She knew that she had to bind with other immigrant workers and look beyond, the divisions that capitalists set up. And that's a general message for our times as well as theirs.